Yeah. What's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where, as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for this lovely morning, Pat Scoper, New England representative. And as always, I got my man with me. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do is Shuttleworth the God, aka the GOAT artist, aka LB Lauderdale Boss, Soul Wars creator, RingGangRadio.com in the building.
Yes, sir. Ring in the house forever and always, And as always, man, that's the GOAT artist right there, So y'all think your artwork or anything is up to par? Step to that man right now and challenge him. And I bet you he beats you, and it'll be like a 12-0 type of victory, if not a knockout. You know what I'm saying?
They ain't got enough artwork for me, man. They ain't got enough, man. We can choose divisions. What y'all want? Welterweight? Y'all want heavyweight? Y'all want mythical matchups? What y'all niggas want, man?
You know what I'm saying? Though we'll even spot you. We'll even spot you to weight. It doesn't even matter. Nothing like that.
Spot you to weight. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My man will take on all comers. You dig? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if your artwork is up to par, tag us, man. We waiting, man.
Twitter boxing artwork first is started.
Yeah, and if you're an established entity, that's been off this man before, and there are a couple, you might want to send that contract or whatever and pay this man too, for keeping your job in check. That's real.
That's just the artwork. We just getting started, nigga.
No doubt.
Pretty soon, when this season, Ring Gang, the animated series is over, we're gonna be like, man, put them cartoons up.
Fact.
Like, who got better cartoons? Fuck it. Like,
exactly.
I'll put the podcast up against anybody, but fuck it. Like that ain't the only thing we got. Like we don't grow, man.
Yeah, like I said, there's no creativity. Creativity is never stifled over here, man. We stay come up with some new shit. You know what I'm saying? Because Ring Game is the squad, man. Like we got things, man. Real talk. So y'all just need to get on this. Keep staying on this wave. If you're new, get on the wave, man. Tell your friends, man. Sub to us, man. We promise we don't
get them likes up. Get them likes up.
Yeah, absolutely. Get the likes up.
Get them subs up. Get them subscribers up.
Yes, sir.
Followers up. All that shit.
Yeah, so I think this morning it'll be us two. The rest of the squad. They doing their own thing. Shout out to Pilot. Shout out to P. P got jabbed up. A little bit, so he's a little bit under the weather, but that's all right though. He's still he's still holding us down. And shout out to the rest of the squad too. DZ, Prolific, Clanarchy, Rome, and all of them, and PJ, the fight architect, So yeah, we gotta do this. We do this for all. And Pilot too, yeah. Can't forget Pilot. And we were just talking to Pilot earlier.
Yeah, we brought it back to like the OG, like the 2018, like.
Yes, sir.
Just back to back. Just me and Big Pat over here now.
Yeah, Dog Pound, Daz and Corrupt. What I'm saying?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Daz Jones, Young Gotti. Yes, sir.
It's been a long time since you've heard of us and nigga Daz and Young Gotti Corrupt, and now we back with a little shine. Can't stop and quick because we on the grind.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's
the DPG.
can't fuck with it, can you?
Yeah, I'm saying we had to grow, nigga. It was like 2 of us, 4 of us, then like 5, then 6, 7, 8, and now it's 9. So
now it's 9. That's still a righteous number if you know your lessons. Word is bond.
Yeah. Still growing.
Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we said we're gonna get on here. We're going to discuss. Some of the cards, the 2 cards from this past weekend. One card which was actually, good boxing, and we'll talk about that one first, from Top Rank, and for once it was good to not have a mid card, because
God, oh my goodness,
too much fucking mid,
too many mid cards back to back in boxing lately. Like it was beginning to be like 1 for 5, 1 for 4, like
right, yeah, and like I said, and me and LB, we're hardcores, but even we have our own, we have a tolerance level. Listen, just like every casual, everyone else, and a lot of the cats, especially our fellow members of the boxing social media and stuff like that. We were all saying the same fucking thing. We needed a card that wasn't fucking mid. You know what I mean? It was
people could actually he's not a predetermined victory. You know, it's a matchup that has some type of significance. You know, somebody could lose. The
Right.
upset could happen. Like a solid fucking card, and I don't know, man. Like I don't know what it is with Top Rank. Like I criticize them hard. I criticize everybody hard. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
But Top Rank seems to know how to deliver when you need them to.
No, absolutely. Even though obviously, and this was reiterated all through the night. The card. The card should have happened. Just shouldn't have the main event happen. But and we'll definitely get into that in a few. But yeah, you're right. Like if we're up and down, like if you watch the prelims, like there was knockouts on that shit. There was some really good knockouts on that shit, and from Xander Zayas, from Giron to Aguilar. They did their thing. Was it some
Action fights? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like Top Rank, they come through like when it's like when no one else around, like everybody done counted them out. Cause just like last year with the pandemic, like they were the only ones who was kind of feeding us boxing in the beginning of the summer.
They were, and they held it. Yeah. And he definitely and they delivered the fight of the year too, as well as that. So like it was great. They did their thing.
And now they kind of broke the mid curse.
They did, and it was.
Now I feel like boxing is gonna go back to normal a little bit now.
Yeah, as long as there's no more of these cancellations here and all that's COVID shit. Like honestly, and then for the card, for the people who have those big cards, like. That if you have fight now, obviously I know it's a choice with the vaccination. But if you got fighters on the line, that are making millions of dollars, that stand to make millions of dollars, or even high six figures, like y'all need to really take some precautions. You know what I mean?
Look, man, just have some alternates. Even if you don't want to get vaccinated, just have alternates available. Like
absolutely,
put some training camp money aside for someone who's near the division or around it that is certified, who will give a good fight.
Yeah.
Might pull off the upset. Who knows? Fuck. Because a lot of these cancellations, they be having someone else come in there and they're the better fighter. Shit.
And that's what TR did with the bubble. Like the bubble, for better or for worse, it worked. It absolutely worked because they were on point for most of those bubble cards. So PBC or Golden Boy or Matchroom. Y'all need to do that. Like if you have fighters that don't want to get jabbed up, outside of the ring, make sure you take them precautions, man. That's your money on the line.
Get some alternatives. Have them in the same. Have them in a training camp, or make them sure they train and they on point. They weights on point, and they just step in. But had an alternate from the get go though.
Absolutely, yeah. So they're actually training.
Seem as a last replacement. It'll look like a last replacement, but in reality, the alternate was ready from the get go.
Hell yeah,
that's how I would do shit, and they still get paid,
Yeah, TR did that shit, lovely last year. That was the blueprint, and it did work. So y'all just need to get in line and just follow that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So we end up some fucking decent cards, shit. But anyways, back to this shit. It was a good fucking
Yeah, and so the prelim
from Top Rank.
Yeah, like the main event of the prelim though, was a rare flyweight title defense between Juto Nakatani and Angel Acosta. Now this is rare too because you don't see usually when you see flyweights throw punches a mile a minute, but they're not necessarily known as the bigger punchers. These two are huge punchers at their weight, especially Acosta. Like dude has like a 93% KO rate, and that's rare to see at flyweight. So that shit was already we're anticipating. And plus, Acosta happens to be a Miguel Cotto fighter. I'm not a fan of Miguel Cotto. How the fight played out, I kind of smiled a lot. Shit.
Yeah.
But what was established early is Nakatani. And one thing about Japanese fighters versus Puerto Ricans or Mexico, like. You get a clash styles, and sometimes that clash is like it's an entertaining clash. And Nakatani established his shit early, a jab, and because he's a southpaw, I believe, and a left hand broke Acosta's nose early. And boxing, like it's common for a broken nose to happen in the fight, but what's not common was the doctors, going crazy in the corner. It was like, hey, like this dude is bleeding a lot, and it probably had a lot to do because it was like 100 degrees out there where they were in Tucson, but a bloody nose isn't that bad. You got that's what you have a corner for. You gotta let them actually do some work. You know what I'm saying? It's only bad when the fighter can't breathe. But if the fighter is like, okay, yeah, I can continue to do this shit, let him, until he's either swallowing too much blood or he's saying he can't breathe. Acosta seemed like he was fine, but after that one, Acosta was just like, Acosta, he tried, man. He tried, he tried, he tried to make something happen, though. Nakatani, every punch was just, you see blood just pouring out of that dude's nose. Like the whole ring was just like, was a crimson mass. Like all the trunks were stained or whatever. In the corner, the doctors was like, hey, I'm gonna give you one more round. If it starts bleeding, and it's just like, God damn, just let him try it. But in the fourth round, once Nakatani had that nose bleeding again, the ref just like, yeah, no, that's it. We got to call this shit off. And I mean, I can say you can err on the side of caution for this, but it's just rare that you see a fight being called off because of a broken, bloody nose. Like it doesn't really happen all that often. Now there are fighters who will stop themselves with the broken nose if they can't breathe, but a doctor stopping it for a broken nose is rare. I can't even tell you the last time I even seen that, if at all. I don't know about you. Have you ever seen that before, LB?
Yeah, that's super rare. I'm trying to remember, like maybe late HBO After Dark, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
it's rare. Like you said, usually the boxer, they would say themselves they can't breathe, and that's they would kind of surrender themselves.
Right.
It's rare to see a doctor say, "Look, man, this guy's nose." And I don't even want to see throw out any names in there, throw out any names because I feel like I would be wrong. It's that rare.
Right. It's very rare.
It's more like, I'll be honest. If you was to say, boxers throwing themselves out of the ring happens more often.
Facts. that's super facts.
Boxers getting knocked out of the ring happens more often. I could name like fights off okay, damn, hold on. Yeah, cause now I put myself to the test now. I feel like Spartacus, like, you brought it up, you gotta name it now.
Yeah, or like niggas that just
didn't Lahovich, didn't what's his name? He got put through the ropes, right? By Shannon Briggs.
He did.
Okay, okay, Rockman did too.
Yeah, Rockman, yep. And of course, we can't forget Centron and the Punisher.
Yeah. No, he jumped through the ropes though.
nigga thought he was a luchador that day.
Category.
Nigga thought he was Rey Mysterio or some shit that day.
Yeah, so you see, we able to name that because that happens, but the motherfucking doctor stopping a broken nose, like, nah, that's you'll get 2 draws on a card before that happens.
Facts. Seriously. But honestly, the fight though, for the 4 rounds that lasted, it was good shit because those cats were throwing hard, and each of them had their moment in the fight though. But yeah, unfortunately, a broken nose stopped it, and Nakatani retained his flyweight title. And Acosta, I mean, I could tell, most of the crowd, they were booing, but they were booing because they wanted to go on, and then Cotto himself was looking with that silly look on his face. Like, you can never tell if he's happy or sad or whatever though, but. He was just sitting there looking, I think because his fighter got stopped again, unfortunately for him, but yeah, that culminated the whole prelims though. It was entertaining, little warm up, for the two fights on the main card, and I just see that my man King P, he made it, although I'm pretty sure, he might be a little bit limited in terms of what. But P, how you feeling, bruh?
Man, I feel like I took multiple headbutts from a prime Evander Holyfield, but I'll make it. I'll make it.
No doubt, bro. Yeah, I'm saying, just make sure you drink your OJ and take your zinc, man. And just pipe in when you can. You know what I'm saying, bro? But we definitely appreciate you joining us this morning on this glorious first NFL Sunday and everything.
This nigga was not gonna let the podcast go and not speak his piece on the Valdez and Flores and
this will be my
this card.
Yeah, this will be my Michael Jordan flu with that.
Yeah, and you know what?
Do the fallout right afterwards, but he's gonna get his piece off. Like, nah.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
I knew he would show up.
Yeah, that's definitely a segue. Obviously, we had Gabriel Flores, someone who I've actually met before, him and his father, cool peoples too, against Luis Alberto Lopez, who was a couple fights removed from upsetting another top-ranked prospect, and Andy Vences, who also fought this weekend as well.
And didn't do too.
Yeah. He didn't do too well, but at least that one. Yeah. But Lopez actually beat the shit out of Vences in this one, in that fight. And that was one of those underrated bubble fights too that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
So most of us were thinking, okay, Flores, Flores will just do his thing, and it will probably be, he'll probably win by a decision because Lopez is kind of tough. But a couple things happened in that fight that that kind of changed all that. Number one, Lopez, had a rhythm that Flores could not time. Flores also could not take being walked down. He couldn't, he was, he couldn't fight on his back for all that much. But since he couldn't do that, he was moving too much, and what he was also doing was dropping his hands, and Lopez kept on timing him with an overhand right.
Nah, he always drop his hand. That's the thing. Look, man, Flores spoiled on the vine, but I think it more so happened in training.
Right. Yeah, and because it was mentioned
bad
before.
Habits.
Yeah, because it was mentioned before. I mean, Bradley was, I think, mentioned before. He asked Gabriel Flores, like, have you been working on your strength training? And Flores, and he said, yeah, no, I do a little bit here and there. You don't really want to hear that, from a fighter.
AKA no.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
And he's not one of those, Juan Baby Bull Diaz type of guys who doesn't look strong but is strong.
Yeah,
like this guy, he doesn't look strong, and he's not really physically strong. Like, and he's 21. Like,
yeah, I mean, at first when he was fighting, I was like, we're waiting for his man strength, and it happens. Like, if you find that young, sometimes you gotta wait for your man strength to kick in. But
which doesn't kick into around like 24, 25. But
yeah, though. But I mean,
at least the tail end of 22.
Yeah,
but you speed up the process if you start lifting it though.
Yeah. Or at least do something because I've done.
It don't even look like he do push-ups.
I mean, I'm against boxers lifting, but there are other ways to do it without lifting, doing heavy lifting.
Yeah, and then
you don't have to do no heavy lifting, but he should be able to do some bicep curls, some bench press, like the standard shit, like
push-ups, pull-ups. Like, I mean, there's because I used to do a whole bunch of calisthenics. I know you can do this shit.
You can lift and box. Like, that's that old school where you'll never, you can't generate power.
No, my gym is like that. My coach is old school like that. He don't want you touching weight.
Nah, you need some type of weights. Like,
yeah, I mean, you could do it, but then you said the old school people, like, I mean, if they want to do it, obviously, you chop wood or shit like that, and or do push-ups.
The only thing I would do was move the tire.
Yeah, but this looks like Flores.
But see, that's still lifting. It's just natural, like.
Yeah, it's natural move, but Flores doesn't look like he does that, and so
he doesn't. Like, he don't even look like he do push-ups, Like, look at his shoulders, like his arms, his chest, like
bro was built like me in high school, and I was like 165. Like, it's like I didn't have no build like that until I actually lifted.
It showed in the fight. It looked like he faltered under pressure.
Yeah, and the funny thing too is Lopez is the smaller fighter. That's what made it worse in the optics. Flores was clearly bigger than Duke, and Lopez was bullied his ass.
It's the boxing habits. Like, look, Pat, you've been in both of y'all been in boxing gyms. Like Flores, you take one look at him, he's easily one of those kids who overly relies on speed and being the faster guy.
Right.
They're a dime a dozen down here. They, they call it the hands down style down here. A lot of Cubans teach it in the boxing gyms. You fight with your lead hand down and you throw a lot of up jabs, and basically everything is done off you being faster than your opponent.
Right.
And a lot of them, they don't learn how to fight with their hands up.
Yeah.
So, if they can't be faster than someone, or somebody gets their timing down or breaks their rhythm, they get walked down. It's like they don't even have the endurance to keep their left hand up.
And the worst thing too, and there's another thing too, is he doesn't know how to clinch either. Like,
yes, and Bradley made a good point about, you could get your skills to a certain level, and he said he wasn't hitting hard. He knew he wasn't punching hard, or he had bad punching technique. That's why he got physically strong. So like Bradley said, in the commentary, if he wanted to tie you up, he would fucking tie you up.
Yeah. And
you have to know your limitations, and I think that's what's going to take Flores to realize, like, look, you may not have something, but you got to bring something else up to counteract this flaw that you have.
Yeah, and it was wild too, because Lopez, after the 10 rounds, he didn't even look like he got hit. That was the most surprising part. I was like, God damn, like this nigga look like he can still fight again like tomorrow.
Shit looked like a Floyd fight.
Yeah, and Lopez was talking to that dude too. Like Lopez started handing out a beating, and he was talking to dude too.
Flores? They said Flores said he was running his mouth leading up to the fight. Dude was too small, yada yada, and dude beat his ass. Honestly, they could have stopped that fight too.
Yeah, especially in round 9 where Flores was taking some crazy shots, like flush shots. I don't know, like the ref failed. Because I think the ref was just
everybody failed on that one.
Yeah, ref was like, God damn, these niggas are throwing, let me see how this plays out.
And then it's like the ref failed, the son failed, the dad failed.
Yeah. Like I said, Flores Senior is a stand-up guy. Don't get he's a real stand-up guy though. But he should have knew that he should have saved his son for another day. Like he should have just pulled him out of that fight.
I think he was, but then his son fucking was on some like. Nah, let me go in there. Like, remember, he fought his dad to go back in there and fight. He didn't want to be stopped.
Yeah, he sure did.
And but that's the thing. It's like, who's the father, who's the son, and who's the trainer? Like,
yeah, it's just like
he got to put it's like he ain't put his foot down as a father or the trainer.
Right, and then he goes out in the 10th round, and he still caught. It wasn't as bad as the beating in the 9th round, but he still caught some shots he shouldn't have took.
Dude, fight was over by the 7th, 8th round.
It was like his eye.
Flores was never coming back into that fight.
Yeah,
he didn't have no answers. He fucking getting walked down. Look, you the faster guy. Like you got the faster hands. Keep your left hand up and jab from the top. Punches fly off faster than it coming from your waist. Simple little shit like that, but. Dude was already in his habit, and Lopez was just walking him down, winging shots at him, setting him up. He was putting him in traps, hitting him out of the traps, hitting him back into the traps.
Yeah,
it was punch.
It was disturbing to watch. I didn't like watching that fight.
Career changing beating to me.
Yeah, because it's one of those fights that Flores either has to make some real changes in his camp, or there's gonna be more nights like this. Because the blueprint is now there for him, for other people, for future opponents.
He fought somebody who wasn't impressed with that speed, and who had some poise in him, who wanted to win.
I don't know if he's the guy that's gonna make those changes, because he seems like a stubborn guy. Like what you were saying,
the level of denial.
He was fighting. When he was fighting with his dad about staying in, I could tell. Okay, this guy's a hard-headed, stubborn fighter.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. That interview was a whole bunch. It was denial. Like all day, like
They should have never interviewed him. I was like, oh my god, take the camera from this nigga face, please.
Yeah, like there was just a whole bunch of excuses and denial. I'm like, yo, if Lopez
embarrassing himself.
Yeah, because the next if he fights Lopez again, if he wants to run it back, Lopez will probably KO him this time.
Oh no, please! I don't even care if this kid gets better. But I don't care how better the kid might improve. Mm-hmm. Just keep him away from Lopez. That's one of those fights where you're just not gonna get that
bad fit. That bad fit.
Yeah.
It was that bad. This ain't one of those where you could run Rodriguez and Sims back.
Mm-hmm.
You could run certain fights back, but this one,
this ain't the one.
Nah, that's like if niggas are like, man, you know what? I think we really need to see David Reed in Trinidad again. I think we need to see Vargas in Trinidad one more time. Like nah, bro.
That was just too much. It was too much of an ass whooping for.
Nah. Them niggas who was like, man, we need to see Derevyanchenko and Triple G run it back.
yeah. Some fights don't need to be run back.
Some fights you just don't. You just gotta just take it and move on, bro.
Or even just probably the best example of that in recent years with Bradley and Provatnikov. You got classic fight, but a second fight could never happen. Yeah,
because that's the thing. Provatnikov was having too many classic fights with everybody. He has a classic with Herrera, fucking Alvarado, Algieri.
Yep,
he has classic fights with people who ain't even supposed to have classic fights.
Absolutely, yeah, Herrera especially. Goodness, yeah. I mean, so it's like,
classic ugly spoiling fights, maybe.
Nah, we don't call spoiling ugly fights classic around here. Nah.
But Flores Lopez, man, like it was a good fight, but it was a fight that just went on like 3 rounds too long, and and like that it was definitely a career trajectory change for Flores, and he's gonna, like I said, he's gonna have to really really have to think deep of what he wants to do going forward.
How old is he again?
He's 21.
Man, like that's the thing you hate to see, because beatings like that can kind of take some years off your damn. Like, he took a beating, so like 21. When you take beatings like that, 21 turns to 28 real quick.
Facts, absolutely.
Shit, like honestly, like this might stun his growth, like physically and mentally. Like it was that bad. Like I don't know if he'll even be the same fighter.
I mean, realistically, his growth was kind of already stunted before the fight. Like what we said, he was spoiling on the vine, so then beating makes it even worse.
Yeah, because I don't know if he's gonna. He was in that much denial. Like he needs a whole revamp with the training. Like, yeah, he really took a. I don't like how they was kind of getting on the whole father-son dynamic on ESPN. Because for every father dynamic, son shit that go bad, you got good ones too. But
no, absolutely. But yeah, it's one of those ones because it
just looked bad in this situation to me.
Yeah, I mean,
it's weird to me. It's weird to me because if anybody should know you the best, it's your father.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, for them to shit on it, I just looked at it like everybody failed because the ref could have stopped it, and these niggas could have got into the ring and stopped it. No one had a towel available. Like,
the doctor should have definitely stopped that. Like,
and Flores, and he being old enough, he's 21. Like, he's an adult his damn self. Like, he should know what type of ass whooping he's been taking. Like,
yeah, it's like there's a whole. Yeah, I mean, pretty much a lot of people should have. Who have the ability to stop the fight just didn't stop the fight, and it was terrible. Like, you should, it was, and that's what made it look bad. So I mean, hopefully Flores can recover and get his mind right. I mean, take a real. I mean, obviously don't even go back in the ring until probably next year, honestly, because he needs to really.
Yeah, this year's a wrap, bro. Like,
yeah, for him, like he needs to think about some. He needs to work on some stuff.
Like, hit some fucking weights.
Yeah,
honestly, like he should be. Like he should come back at like 135 or something.
Right. Something. Yeah, because it's I mean, if he continues, if he doesn't make any changes, his career is going to be shortened like drastically. And but
I mean, I don't know the guy, but he kind of came off a little disrespectful for me to even feel sympathy for him, though.
I mean, I think he's
Nah,
a young.
yeah, I mean, I feel you. No, I agree. It's just, it's not. I don't even think we're showing sympathy. We're just keeping it real, honestly.
I'm just doing it because I've met both of them. I've sat down. I've drank with both of them. So, or not Flores because he wasn't legal back then, but with Senior. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they're good people, but I think it's just more or less it's just this is their first setback, and so we just have to see how they bounce back from it. So
Yeah, because the son did come off, stubborn as fuck, and I think, and it kind of made the dad look bad because everybody's looking at the dad like, oh, you didn't throw it in the towel for him, but it's like y'all forget the son was about to fight the.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like if you want to see like a father who really be taking control, look at Zab's dad, Yoel. Like Yoel used to keep Zab in line when Zab used to be going off the rails and shit like that because he wasn't playing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's kind of different when your dad's a black belt and a kickboxing champion and all that shit.
Absolutely, yeah.
And your pop still trained with you and he young looking and moving,
Yeah, but
pops whoop your fucking ass.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's type of authority that, but I think it's just more or less, I mean, both Senior and Junior both have a lot they can improve on as trainer and fighter. You know what I'm saying? We just hope they can actually do it going forward.
It's gonna take both of them, even if they split up, man. I would hate for them to split up over this shit. I think they could both bounce back, but it's got to start within Junior.
Yeah, the man in the mirror shit.
Someone's got to show him that fight. Like, look, man, because his dad getting shitted on like that, and he's the one. And the thing is, if his dad would have stopped it, he would have been hating it. So it's like it's one of those dirty games where you can't win. Like,
right, cannot win.
Yeah, I hope he, rebounds. But the writing was on the wall. And credit to Lopez for taking advantage of it. Shit,
absolutely.
That's how you fucking make a name for yourself in a fight. Like,
yeah, I mean, another upset. So I mean, hopefully, do gets steered towards a title shot really soon because he kind of deserves one now. Like, I mean, give him a good, or at least not touch, or at least give him a shot in a bigger fight. Because I mean, dude, whether it's at featherweight or at 130, because I mean, dude is a featherweight. So,
Flores took a beating. Like in that one fight at 21 years old, I've seen Flores take more punishment than I would say Pacquiao's last 3-4 fights.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
That's crazy, right? Like,
yeah, that's crazy to say. And it's not even cap either.
And look who he's fought too. Like, definitely. Like, man,
killers. Yeah, like legit killers. So it's like, yeah. I mean, like I said, we just hope
having that at 21, bro. Like, fix that ASAP.
Yeah. And someone else who also needs to fix something in this camp is one Oscar Valdez. Who
fuck boy.
who faced Robson Conseo, in a title fight that shouldn't have never been, but we've already talked about this on the WBC and the fuckery regarding that, so I won't rehash that. But P, let off some bars, bro. What did you think about what went down in this fight?
Be good. Let me get my bodega.
Nah, I think this fight was fucking bullshit. Fuck Valdez. We shouldn't have got the fight, but we got the fight. I'm like, okay, well, let's make something of it. And this motherfucker looks like the Valdez that I remember. Oh, yeah, that guy. Fuck him.
Man, that's the one thing I was telling LB is like, yo, Valdez looks basic as fuck.
Like I'd always said, because, I know other people that have, like, hyped up Valdez, and I never saw it in him. I'm like, oh, no, he's all right. He's good, but I don't see him as a top guy. And then more fights go on, and more fights keep showing me, okay, you know what? I don't think this guy has it. And then he fucking has the one fight, the last Burchell fight, and he shows that he could be that guy. And now all this bullshit after it now that makes me like, oh, you know what? Fuck that, because how do I know you wasn't cheating in the Burchell fight? And then you look fucking terrible against. I always forget how to fucking say his name.
It's like
I always forget how to say it.
Yeah, it's because
he won the first 5 rounds. He won the first 5 rounds easy.
Easy. Yeah.
With a jab. The jab.
And imagine that, the jab, for sometimes people like to talk about, oh, no, jabbing ain't shit. Oh, he knows that jab. Like, there's
That's
jabbing.
literally all he needed was a jab, and by the fucking 7th round, his face was all fucking marked up.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say, there ain't no stepping. Like, if you develop a jab, you go far in boxing. People, message. You know what I mean?
And then it was like, oh well, Valdez is like he's winging shots. He's like, okay, like he doesn't look good at all,
Right, but where it changed and where Consejo made a huge mistake is he started playing with Valdez, and he shouldn't have done this. Like, this is where it's like all he had to do was fight behind there, but either he was gassing or whatever. But dude was thinking
I think he gassed a little bit. I do think he slightly gassed a bit.
Yeah, and he started bullshitting a little bit too much. I was like, yo,
Valdez did hit his body a couple good times.
He did.
I think it was the pressure of having to perform on that level for so long was burning him out, because he wasn't throwing a crazy amount of punches, but he was throwing a good amount. Like, he was throwing a decent amount. Like, he was working a lot harder than Ugas was against Pacquiao for the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, like, I mean,
if we want to be honest, because remember, Pacquiao Ugas was a lot closer, and that's credit to, and that shows levels, because P was saying, that just shows levels in between Pacquiao and Valdez, how Pacquiao was at least keeping the fight close and competitive. Like, it was at least a tie in the first 6 rounds, whereas Valdez and his opponent, it was more like 4-2, 5-1.
Yeah, like and like all it was either a 1-2 or a 1-1-2, and Valdez would kept on having a reset and was getting hammered. Like,
and then he would Consejo.
Yeah, because I say Consejo. I think that's
Consejo would rip body shots. He would throw some hooks and uppercuts too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, body cast.
He would mix those in just to keep Valdez honest. Like, hold on, like, I got this one too, but don't come in here like I ain't got no heat with me now. I know you see the 8 knockouts, but hold on, like,
and
I got some pop in my punches, and it was a good strategy. It worked beautiful for the first 6 rounds.
Right, but when
I thought he had like 5 of them rounds.
Yeah, same here. Like, but when he started gassing,
at the very least 4. At the very least 4.
Yeah, and but once he started, the second half, once he started, playing around a little bit, I already knew what time it was going to be. Them judges are going to be like, "Oh, you playing around though," but the champion's actually working. I already knew how it was going to go. Like,
Valdez was working, but he was ineffective a lot of the time. So this is where I fucking get mad.
He was still landing on more occasion than Consejo was when Consejo was playing with the food. Remember, there was times when Consejo would never touch the ropes. Second half, he's touching the ropes more now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not throwing. He's more posturing, more posing. Like, he literally kind of gave away the fight. Like, what fight I thought about after this fight? Claudio Cotto.
Yeah.
People gonna say there's people out there that said Claudio got robbed, and I feel where you coming from, but I felt like Claudio gave the fight away more than he got robbed.
Yeah, no, Claudio did give the fight away.
Yeah,
but he had that motherfucker close. He fought Cotto to all the way to the brink.
Yeah,
but,
like,
he had him. I remember that fight very vividly. He had him dead to rights, but he did what he always does, and just is like, okay, I'm gonna just put my hands in my pockets and not fucking do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cotto knew how to box and get on his roller skates and move, and he controlled the last couple rounds and won the fight, won a close one, but he won pretty clear. And I felt like Valdez kind of did that, but
I don't think Valdez won this fight at all. I'm sorry, I don't think he won the fight.
I did, but it was.
I could see a draw or a Valdez win close.
Yeah, like one because I had like a 115, 113 type of score. And there was that bullshit point deduction too. So it was like 115, 112.
And see, the point deduction kind of fucks it up too. Like, it's kind of hard. Like, if Consejo had a better second half, the point deduction really wouldn't have mattered like that.
Right, exactly.
At best, you could say like he got a draw.
Yeah, but one thing it wasn't was no damn 117, 110. I'm sorry,
It wasn't no 117.
Nah,
It was more of a 114, 111.
Yeah, or 113, or 114, 112, or 113.
Yeah.
Something around that, or like 115, 112 at the absolute.
You could literally say both won 6 rounds, and then you give,
Yeah, the point deduction will give Valdez.
Not me. I gave Casale 7, 8 rounds.
You gave him 8 rounds?
7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
I heard you say 7, 8.
7. Yeah. Sorry, like 7 to 8. But I believe I gave him 7 rounds.
Because I don't see how Casale can have 8 rounds. Like,
it was definitely a 7. It was.
You had a few swing rounds in the second half where I could see how somebody could have Casale winning because you gave him one of the close ones where. Because the thing is, what was happening was Valdez would land one good punch in the whole round.
Yep.
And Casale would do all the ring generalship. And ring generalship kind of way more, so I would lean to his direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were people that gave Casale 9 rounds. I didn't think he won 9 rounds, but
come on, man.
I thought he definitely won at least 7 rounds.
Honestly, I could see the case made for 7, but after that is like that's like the niggas who was saying Jacobs was winning 9 and 10 rounds against Golovkin.
Yeah,
8 rounds when Jacobs won more like 7 or 6 rounds.
Yeah, it was just
Valdez ain't win no damn 8 rounds, 9 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely not. And it was a bad look and Valdez
barely won 7 rounds. Like each guy barely won 7 rounds to me though.
Right.
Like, honestly, a draw was probably the most accurate call for this fight.
And honestly, and Valdez, like it looked like he was in the fucking quick fight again. Like his face was all battered. He was cut under one of his eyes. Like
Cotto.
Yeah, he looked like he took a real beating, and the offense wasn't all that great for him to be like, damn, this is just jabs hitting him like that. Like, what the fuck?
Because his punches weren't hurting Casale or moving him like that. Like,
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Remember,
you don't have no tea this time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember how I think that Joe Smith title fight was earlier this year? How
with
Joe Smith be getting Vaslov. Yeah, he'll be getting boxed up, but then he'll land a 1-2 or he'll throw a hook and it sends dude 2 and 3 feet across the ring and shit. Like, it wasn't no type of evening out of the punches in this fight. It was just one guy who was boxing and busting the other guy up, and the other guy kind of just landing a good showy 1 or 2 punches in a round, and then another guy kind of falling off a little bit, and the other guy picking it up, and that's this fight.
Yeah, exactly. So Valdez, I mean, all the goodwill, obviously, on top of the T shit, all that goodwill went. I mean, and you were like, oh, he was bothered by all the shit that he's the villain. Like, yeah, bro, like you shouldn't be fighting. What did you expect? Like,
you shouldn't have had the fight at all. You failed the test. You should have been suspended. But your fans,
really,
yeah. So that too. But and his fans, gave him all these excuses. Man, fuck that guy. I'm tired of him and his bullshit fans giving him all these excuses for that shit.
Yeah, and then Reynoso didn't say shit, and his camp didn't say shit.
And that got me mad. I'm like, why? Like Reynoso should be trying to clear his name because now you're looking bad. So why aren't you saying anything? Because now everybody's looking at like this isn't just a Valdez thing. Everybody's looking at Reynoso and saying, okay, well, I don't know what's going on in his camp. It might not just be a Valdez thing. It might be a Reynoso thing. So he should have said something to at least try to clear his name.
Fighters test positive.
Yeah.
3 fighters on the 1 trainer, like that's a lot, bro.
That's a lot going on. Like I mean, there have been trainers that have been fuckery, fella. I know we give shit to Abel Sanchez for having his fighters lose all the time, but even Sanchez didn't have fighters failing drug tests left and right. They just lost left and right. for the most part. You know what I'm
Well, so
saying?
that's the thing. All these coaches, all these trainers, they get a little losing run. Remember, there was a time when Freddie was losing a bunch of fights.
Hell
And there
yeah,
was a
yep,
time when Virgil Hunter was losing.
yep.
Then I mean,
Robert Garcia was losing.
Robert Garcia had a time when he was losing.
Yeah. So it's just like Reynosa, and obviously we went through this with the WBC, they have a lot of interest in that.
He just got the juice right now, where his fighter's not losing,
right. But it's gonna catch up to him. Valdez is at 130 now, and I've always said that Stevenson could beat Valdez,
easily. I always thought he could easily beat Valdez. When people were telling me
at this point, Herring could beat Valdez. Like Valdez has never been some unbeatable. Like honestly, Burchell looked more unbeatable than Valdez.
Yeah.
Tonight's performance is the reason why we all picked Burchell by fatality.
Exactly, and most of
brutality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Pilot says too. Yeah, based off that performance, Valdez probably loses to the winner of Shakur Herring. He probably does. Yeah, if it's Shakur, absolutely.
Only the loser, maybe only the winner, maybe the loser too, nigga. Shit.
Yeah, shit. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. But yeah.
Valdez, I think he's food for the top guys at 130.
Well, luckily 130 is not the most stable division, but he can be easily upset though if he runs into the wall.
He has too many performances where we're debating where he won or lost or had a draw or not.
Yeah, and we had this at 126. At 126, we discussed how he struggled against fighters he shouldn't have. Now at 130, we're doing it again. So
motherfuckers gave Jermaine Taylor flag for always getting these 115, 113 types of fights.
I mean, that was annoying. That was annoying, bro.
Yeah.
God damn it, that we gonna give Valdez that work too. Fuck all that shit. Yeah. At least Taylor was fighting them all-time greats and Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Shit, Valdez is fighting motherfucking them just regular contenders and doing life and death. So y'all gonna get on Jermaine Taylor. Fuck that. I hate it when people was getting at him for that shit.
But overall though, it was definitely a good watchable card. I didn't feel no regret. I didn't feel PO'd. It wasn't mid, which was, thank God for that.
And I didn't feel like we got a bad decision, just a bad scorecard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I disagree.
I don't like niggas playing with their food, man.
Yeah, neither do I.
Especially when you winning and you got all the advantages.
Yeah,
that shit just irks me.
If it wasn't for the play, if I actually thought Castillo wasn't playing with his food, I'd be a little bit more heated. But I saw that shit. I was like, you can't do that. You can't do that against a champion with that type of backing against him. It's not going to work.
I shout out to my nigga Keith Soprano because he said the same thing. He thought Cancelo won. But he could see why Valdez, got it because he did see, dude was playing with his food. He made it close in the second half again. He fell off.
Yeah, he did. But I mean, hopefully, it's something that Castillo can learn. Obviously, and then maybe just maybe improve his late round stamina because he hadn't gone 12 rounds before. That was another thing they kept on saying. So it's a part that he can improve on. So.
And then remember Valdez puts pressure on you for the whole fight because we know he has power the whole fight. He could knock you out.
Yeah.
So boxing on that ability and be wary of everything and then never, going the distance before or those many rounds. That's a lot of pressure. So
it is.
Ineffective
honestly,
pressure.
This deserves a rematch, really.
Yes, run it back.
Yeah, and I'd support it too, definitely. And then
I'd rather see a rematch than he getting the winner of that other fight.
Yeah, hopefully he's not, he's not taking a special tier or anything like that.
Yeah. Get this man, put this man on testing right now,
I'm saying
that whole camp need
he needs to do everything to show that it was a mistake, and he needs to get tested all year round. At least the one thing I know we get on Canelo for it, and rightfully so. I understand, but at least Canelo did everything in his power to show that what, I'm not like that. And now he gets tested all the time, getting the hair test. Like he went above and beyond to try to prove his innocence, whether you want to believe it or not. Valdez needs to go that hard.
Yes.
Innocence meaning he didn't know that he ate some bad.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Because the fact is he failed.
No. I understand. I'm saying he went hard to prove that it was like his innocence and that it was a mistake.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like he did.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, no. But overall, it's a good
he's still
card.
a fucking cheater.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether he unwittingly did it or knowingly did it, as and Valdez, same thing. They all gotta eat it.
Mm-hmm.
At least Canelo didn't end up fighting when he did it. And more people are looking, like there's more information and shit coming out now, man. Like I seen a video Bruce Vane put up the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It showed like detail. It goes into all the bumps on the damn 6-pack and all that shit. Like,
yeah,
he got the photo of Andy Ruiz putting a syringe in somebody's ass. Like,
what?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah. Like the
what
whole
the fuck?
Dude, check out his. And you know me, man. I recognize real. I shout out anybody or I'll whatever. But yeah, I think the last couple videos got some shit like that. Yeah. Dude,
yeah,
hilarious.
I'm gonna have to look at that because motherfuckers injecting something in your butt is never fucking a good thing.
Yeah, ain't no damn vitamin shot. That's for damn sure.
I mean, I seen it with my own eyes. It's a picture, like it's Andy Ruiz and some random dude, like. But yeah, like,
that sucks as fuck.
But it's a lot of suspects. That's the whole point. There's a lot of suspect shit over there, man. Like, and it's like it's not a good look. And
yeah,
you might have to investigate the whole camp at this point.
And it's crazy because like I don't mean to take it there. I kind of do, but like we give like fans, the same fans that are defending Valdez gave flack to other fighters for the thought that they might be dirty. Imagine if this happened with Tank or Spence. These motherfuckers would go ballistic. Yeah. Ballistic.
Oh yeah, for damn sure they would. That's not even a thing.
That's why Ring Gang exists, because we keep it hard. Like we go hard on everybody. Like pause. Like we go in on everybody, man.
Yeah, and
it's serious. It's the hurt business. Like, and you putting in perform enhancers to beat somebody else's ass up, like possibly kill them. Like
and like I said, and speaking of suspects. And speaking of suspects and all that type of stuff, this is a good segue into the card from last night. Brought by Thriller. Yeah. So, talk about suspect. I mean, there's so much went wrong on this card. Like I don't even know where to start. I mean, first of all, like this is one of the rare times I was like, okay, let me buy a Triller pass because at least if I do that, then I'll get the Kambosos Lopez fight for free and see how that goes. And like I said, and Triller for the most part had been I don't know what it is. Like they knocked it out the park for the first time around. Like everything was right, and then all of a sudden they forgot what the formula is. Either they go 2 left with the fuckery, or 2 left with the boxing. And this one, I don't know what they did.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Last night, completely, like damn near completely made me sour on Triller. Like I'm really like to the point where like I don't even know if I want to watch any more of the Triller event. That was disgusting.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, and there was a lot of things. Like first, not even not even talking about the box stuff. Like one thing that I can't stand was first Trump was there providing commentary, and the worst thing is Trump was a better commentator than 50 Cent, who who was mumbling his ass off, who couldn't speak up. And said absolutely nothing.
That kind of disappointed me because I know that 50 actually has some boxing experience from back in the day.
And actually watches boxing, so it's like why? Like, and I realize some people.
Dude, that was a fuck up. Like I would never put 50 Cent in some type of capacity to comment on boxing.
The only saving grace was that he had Porter with him to kind of cancel that out.
Yeah, Porter is true. It's
Yeah.
proven like Porter definitely has a career in the booth after his career is done.
Dude, when all said and done, Porter's gonna be Hall of Fame either for his boxing career or his damn media career.
I've said that after both of them retire, Porter and Thurman both need to have a career in broadcast.
Yeah. And Porter's already like he's getting to that damn level now where he's like one of the best, like easily.
Quickly and truthfully, that probably will get him into the Hall of Fame. Like
definitely, if he,
yeah.
man,
I like him more than Paulie.
Of course, he's way better than Paulie.
And then that'll set us up for our final conversation later. But between that, like the music acts, like there was too much reggaeton. I know I say this.
Oh my goodness! Like I mean, they're down here in Hollywood, Florida. Like, is that many niggas down here really fuck with reggaeton like that? Where like,
yeah,
I didn't know. Like, what was this 2003 now? Like,
yeah, I was like, what is it with like reggaeton like that? I was like, can you? I mean, reggaeton's like
stop trying to bring that shit back.
Yeah. And it didn't help too. Like the first reggaeton cat niggas was high as hell.
If they're gonna do Spanish music, they need to do more modern. Like the more modern Spanish music is not reggaeton.
Yeah, it's just like stop.
They could have had the standard Pitbull,
Bad Bunny,
Flat, Flow Rider, Bad Bunny, the regular motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they could have paid Pitbull to get a braids wig or some shit like that and take it back. And fucking, perform some of that from the mid 2000s shit. Well, once again or something.
Could have had Rick Ross down here. I mean, damn, like, dude, I'm honestly, I'm really forgetting like the card was down here. Like, I'm really.
It's in your neighborhood too. It was right in your neighborhood.
Dude, what I told you, me and Rome was at the Hard Rock. Like, fucking, like the last time I seen this nigga, we was at the like literally.
I be feeling. No lie.
Like a month ago.
No lie. I be feeling bad for LB because for the longest he's been complaining how we don't get any fights down in Florida, and then now all the bullshit fights are in Florida.
Yeah, and literally every bullshit fight.
They just swarm us with them now.
Yeah, and it was just like the music acts sucked. Like Porter did his thing. Ray Flores for once, was kind of like he was took out after the second half. But it's sad that Trump was a better commentator than Trump is obviously, if you know boxing, he's been involved in this shit for at least 40-something years. So it's like he, dude does know.
Boxer, man. Yeah.
But the problem with him being there is it turned the show into
MAGA.
It turned into it took it to UFC of like the last 15 years, the fucking
man turned into a MAGA rally.
Yeah, honestly, I can't tell you anything that he said because honestly, once he got on TV, once I saw him on my screen with Masvidal, I muted.
Yeah, the funny thing is too, but like most of the people that I didn't.
He was playing matchmaker too, though. Like I was like, damn, like he's like this guy. Yeah. He could fight you. This guy could fight you.
Yeah, Trump knows his shit. That's the problem. Like, and he really does. But it's just like, unfortunately, this is a politically charged climate, and Florida is one of them states. But
see, you know what? The music ruined that because if you would have had more modern, diverse music, it wouldn't have just had that feeling. You would have got even a different type of atmosphere too.
Right, like it's that
you legit had music nobody fucked with, and then you had a lot of the MMA names in the sport at that place, and on the card. And so it kind of defaults into like a UFC type of vibe. Like
it was sad too that the young man that looked like Lil Nas X who sang the anthem was the best music act of the night. He's
sang.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He sung his ass off, but and he and even then, for as great as that little boy sang, he couldn't liven up he couldn't turn the event around.
Right, yeah.
It was the event itself, like.
Yeah, like I said, I bought the pass for it, and I was just mad because I was like, damn, I didn't pay to see a whole bunch of Florida hicks talking about Trump and bring back 45 signs.
Trump even said it felt like a rally.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and then the cognitive dissonance that was happening, like there was one broad, white broad, that was holding that, and she was dancing to DMX. I'm like, why am I watching this shit? Like, what is this? Like, what did I pay $29 for? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I like this.
That's hilarious. That those you got those manga bras that be dancing that love rap, but they really hate niggas. Like
yeah, and it was fucking with me. Usually I don't have this type of like the cognitive dissonance on this shit. Like usually I kind of poo poo all that shit away, but this shit was fucking with me too much. You know,
And
I
the
was like, yo,
boxing
like,
and the boxing wasn't leveling and shit out because the production was going harder than the actual fights. And whenever that happens, you know the card is trash. The Hay fight trash.
Yeah, Hay
he had a chance to set shit off, and he
stay
didn't.
retired. Stay retired.
Yeah,
like he danced around. Like, look, dude, like I don't look, man. If PJ is sending me more entertaining clips of him sparring his damn students than you fighting a billionaire, I'm good.
Yeah, like I mean, and it's not like Hay, like we've seen Hay spar before. I mean, Hay, you know, has sparring with Wilder, and you know, giving Wilder the business, like from back in the day. Like
he sparred with Wilder and Fury, and like he's had good spars.
Yeah, like we say, but yeah, this one was just like, I mean, Fournier, and this one asked because Fournier was insulting that man's livelihood. Like, hey, yeah, if you want to box, okay.
It's like you basically still wanted to be a friend. Like it's like, you know what? Being a billionaire's friend was more important than your honor for boxing.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I felt. I was like, hey, I mean, we know dude can't box, but you're supposed to put him away because he insulted your livelihood.
And you wrapped him with a jab. Like, honestly, like it's like honestly, you already know the next conversation they're having at the pub. They're gonna be like, hey, was like, man. So you realize I could have knocked you out any time I wanted to, and dude is gonna be like,
yeah, he basically carried.
Yeah.
You could have, you carried me this day. He said, see,
yeah,
and it goes off into the whole Brandon shit with niggas, and
and then
is dude still a commodity or a brand if you would have gotten knocked out by a boxer, like
And then after we had the legit fight on the boxing card, with Andy Vences and John O'Carroll, and the way the commentators were trying to hype that shit up was it was like god damn, like. First of all, like
you would have thought you was watching fucking Gotti Ward 3.
I'm saying
fucking Marquez Vasquez 3.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't that live. Like they were throwing to, but it was a lot of sweet sciencing going on in that fight.
It was a decent little fight, but for the night that was void of any real action, they had, it wasn't even better than Love Baroncheck.
It wasn't, not at all. So it except for maybe two of the rounds where they actually decided to actually throw, and it was just one of those things. It was just like Vences kind of again showed that he can't get himself into second gear, and Kano did what he had to do, but he's just not a big puncher. So and then Carroll won, and then he of course I can't understand him because his accent is super thick, and then the announcer was fawning over his beard too goddamn much. It was just one of those fights. It was just like, ugh, it needed more. Like it needed some knockdowns. It needed people to really put foot to ass, and it didn't really happen that way. But
because it was only a step better from the Hay fight, so it was no it's like you had a D. It's like your kid came home with a D. And then the next week you say do better, and they came home with a C next time. like that's how that fight felt. Like
facts.
And you're like, okay, like
yeah.
I mean it's better, but
yeah.
I mean,
you get that's a perfect analogy, man.
Because you wanted to, do better. You want a motherfucker come home with a B or an A, like
right.
You come home with a C.
It was just one of those things. It was just like that fight needed a little bit more, especially for representative for boxing, and it didn't deliver on that. So it was just like it was. I know LB. We were talking today. I know LB was like, man, I might need to turn this shit off.
Yeah, like that. That's the level of annoyance I was having with the card at that time.
Yeah, and then look, the third fight actually, brought back the feelings, back just a little bit though,
Yeah,
just a little bit.
spark.
Yeah, and Anderson Silva and Tito Ortiz, and this is where I think also the card started really getting super annoying to me because one thing I can't stand about MMA fighters, even though I do watch MMA, I like it. I have nothing against it. But one thing that they all do lately is the whole "Make America Great Again." I can, as we're all
Because they're MAGA-tards. They're MAGA-tards. Like,
yeah,
that's what they fucking do. There's too many skinheads. Like, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, and then on top of that, with the two flags out there, and I was just like, really, we're really gonna do this here, and this is Trill. Trill's supposed to be like cool and hip, but nothing. There's nothing.
You know what this reminded me of? Remember that all of a sudden it reminded me of. It brought me back to the rant that Bob Arum did on UFC and at Yankee Stadium like 12 years ago, where he's like, all of their fans are skinhead white dudes that wouldn't like any of our fighters except for Kelly Pavlik. They might like him.
and Bob is right. Bob was absolutely, he was spot on. Like that was nothing but real talk with Bob. And Bob was not, he was on point. And that's what and I was just like, man, after seeing Tito talk like this, and the fact, of course, he lost 40 pounds for this fight and didn't even make the 195 weight limit. He was 5 pounds over, so he had to give money to Silva. So he got in the ring. He kind of threw a couple of wild caveman punches, which Silva weathered, skillfully, and then caught his ass with a right hook that pretty much put him out on his feet, and then two more shots put him to the canvas. I was like, finally. And, Tito was out cold on the canvas, smiling. That dude got hit. I was
he
like,
literally took a nap.
Yeah, he took a nap, and that's what I paid to fucking see. You know what I'm saying? And it was great. And honestly, and I was saying this to LB, like Silva lost. Silva might have missed his calling as a fighter. Like, so you cannot tell me that Silva could have never been a cruiserweight champion.
He's my favorite MMA fighter. Spider a real nigga.
Yeah. Like he could have been a cruiserweight champion or something. Like, I mean, or a light heavyweight champion, because that light heavyweight title was splintered. He could have. I mean, if Gabriel Campillo could be a light heavyweight champion, so can he. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude missed his calling as a boxer. He could have. He would have made some cash though. But I mean, yeah, he's had. I mean, for a boxer, he's had a hell of a year. He decisions Junior in a fight he clearly won, and then he scores a KO of the year against someone that should have probably never been in the ring in the first place. But fuck it, he deserved it. So. Yeah, honestly, I want to see Silva in the ring one more time this year. Like, I mean, he deserves. Like, I want to see him there. Like, bring him back or something.
Like, he might fight his way into a Paul fight.
I'm saying, like,
yeah.
I want to see. I mean, and it's sad that he's 46 now, or 44, 46, or whatever old he is. And he's having this run in boxing now. Like dude should have switched over. Like 10 years ago or some shit. But it is what it is, man. And the most disgraceful moment of the night by far was the main event with Vitor Belfort and Evander Holyfield. Now, before this, I was curious about odds, so I went on Bovada and I looked at some of the odds. And I was telling LB, I was like, yo, they got plus 3,300 for Holyfield to knock Belfort out in round 1, or 1,600 if in the first 2 rounds. Like, and I never seen these odds, and Holyfield was the betting underdog. And this shit was crazy to me. Like, I would have never seen. I see a former undisputed cruiserweight and heavyweight champion being an underdog to a TRT'd up Brazilian from MMA. Like that shit was
never. He should have never been a replacement fighter. He shouldn't be in the ring anywhere near the ring.
Right, and for the people that are not hip to why Holyfield was there, is because Oscar, because we didn't mention this on the preview because he was still fine, but Oscar caught COVID. So Holyfield also had a contract with Triller to do an exhibition with old boy that what's that dope boy's name? I forgot his fucking name. He pisses me off because he knocked out Mike Tyson in his final fight. Why am I forgetting?
McBride?
Yeah, McBride, Kevin McBride. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and they were supposed to do something, but something fell through, and Holyfield was threatening to sue them. So him as the replacement was him being placated because he'd get paid, hopefully, and that was that. But Yeah, it turned out like it turned out like things like we saw the videos like Holyfield looked incredibly slow and labored, like hitting the mitts, especially if you saw the media workout. I mean, he looked in shape. He still had his muscles and everything because he said he'd been training for like 2 years or whatever. But this was clearly a guy that was too battle scar for his own good. But I was stubborn. My mind wouldn't let me because I'm such a Holyfield fan. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like he can knock out Belfort at something. Like there's no. I didn't think that he could knock out Belfort, no matter how much TRT this dude was on. You know.
He was the underdog for a reason, man.
Yeah, I know some, but this was the denial that was fucking with me, bro. I was like, I can't. I didn't want.
You got to remember, when Trump and them was talking, they were saying like, everybody's looking for Holyfield to get knocked out, basically.
Yeah,
because the dude's younger.
Yeah, and I was praying that this was just like they're just taking them lightly, and then people would get paid off Holyfield actually knocking dude out, But once all that shit happened, once that bell rang, yeah, Holyfield had like his reflexes, they were gone. Everything was shot. His balance was off. His movement.
The only thing he could do is throw a jab, and the way he throws his jab, you could tell it's so natural. He probably throws it in his sleep.
Yeah.
It's like a reaction, but it's like it doesn't seem like he could do anything. He did throw. I think he landed a right hand.
Right. But unfortunately, his reflexes to when Belfort decided to attack him, Holyfield just didn't have the reflexes to do anything about it. And in one wild shot, like he threw himself down. Into the ropes, and he looked bad. I was like, "Oh God!" Like this will be a matter of time. So he got up. It was a slip, and then Belfort lit him up with an uppercut. And we're not. That's never going to be in an uppercut season video, by the way. Never. That will never be in that because it was so disgraceful to see Holyfield get hit with that uppercut.
Yeah, who even was thinking about that? I hope nobody was hit you up on the in the DM talking about y'all go add that to it.
Yeah, no, I just had to make it better. Like that was graceful. Yeah, like and no, like, I didn't even share. I didn't
remember that card. Honestly, minus Tito Ortiz getting starched. Like that whole card was a waste of time.
Right, and then just Belfort knocking out Holyfield. Belfort again knocking Holyfield down legitimately. Belfort letting off 18 punches on him, and the referee too was talking about. Referee was really trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because he knew. He was in the position like he had to stop it, but
there was no benefit of the doubt. He was like once Holyfield got hit with that first punch, I'm like, this is gonna end bad and quickly.
Yeah, and then the referee didn't want it. The referee was like, he was waiting for that bell too, but even he knew it was like, you can't let a 58-year-old man take a killer instinct combo. Like it's not good. You can't do it. So he had to stop it. And Holyfield was saying, "Oh, he wasn't hurt," but bruh. You're great, but you wasn't throwing back against anyone. You was covering up. You was showing up too much. And this is a Holyfield that used to fight when he got hurt. Like he used to really fight hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, his body couldn't do it anymore. And like I said, if you follow the career of Evander Holyfield, like dude is war and battle scar. Like dude fought too many wars in the 80s and 90s. Like you have to, like dude fought a 15-rounder in his 11th pro fight. You can barely get these niggas to actually fight a 12-rounder, in the by their 20th fight. What I'm saying?
He's a legend. He's a legend, one of the greatest of all time. But there was no reason why he should have been. Triller fucked up eternally for having that fight.
Yeah, like there was a reason why his license was suspended in New York and California would not license him. And so the Florida Commission needs to. That's a black eye. That's on you for letting this fight go. That should have never went.
Damn, niggas that blame Florida for everything.
Yeah,
blame 9/11 too, nigga. Shit.
I mean, the commission. They did license him. It's like
why? Like who in their right mind thought that was a good idea? Like who the fuck? Like this is Florida being Florida.
Yeah, like honestly, that pissed me off so much. Like, yeah, I was low key furious after the whole thing was over. I was just like, I didn't like how that shit went down. I was like, it's like, and then Belfort had enough to be talking big talking, like him and Kavanaugh, the Triller guy, the Triller head. You know,
You beat a 60-year-old with a lot of fucking brain damage that shouldn't even have been in the ring. Fuck out of here with that shit talk.
Right. Yeah, they're talking that. First of all, that
I kind of hope that they do make the fight with Oscar and Oscar beats the shit out of him.
Yeah. Me too. Like, and then they're talking that
he was
MAGA
talking
shit and
bad shit at the end, yo. Like he was trying to call out the world.
Yeah, Belfort was actually saluting Trump, "Make America Great" talks again. You know, and calling out Jake Paul and they said, we have 25, 30 million, winner take all.
You don't deserve a Jake Paul fight, you asshole.
Yeah, like fuck Belfort. You know what I'm saying? Like the only reason why he's competitive because he's TRT'd up. You know, this nigga's been on TRT for how long? Because he has so many fucking injuries and shit like that. He can't. He took so many roids that he can't maintain naturally anymore. So he has to take all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just disgusting. Like I was so furious at watching this shit. I had to go watch something else.
I wonder what the sales are going to be for that card because that shit was just the boxing didn't deliver, the performances didn't deliver.
There was no fuckery. There was no fuckery.
Shit like this is like if we're gonna get shit like this, Triller's gonna meet an end very quickly.
Yeah, because that shit wasn't cool. Like
attached to this fight like that, like no one really cares about it happening. Like besides the Silva KO, nobody. You know, everybody knows Holyfield's 100 years old. No one cares if you stop him right now. The fight shouldn't have been. It wasn't even no sick, brutal stoppage or anything. Like
it was a mercy stoppage that stopped a more brutal stoppage from happening. You know
exactly. So it's not going to even draw the attention. So it's still a worthless thing. Like nothing of value.
All you did was piss people off.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
I know. Like, I know. I was on the RGR Twitter last night, and a lot of the fighters were furious at that. I know one, Steve Cunningham, was furious. I was like, man, you should have let me take control. Like I would have done work. And he probably would have at that time, but
that's the thing, man. And Steve Cunningham's a part of the problem. Like all these fucking boxers, they get on these fucking Triller cards. All these older boxers, and they put out these damn dud performances. Like one of you old ass niggas is going to have to deliver now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like David Haye, boring fight. Steve Cunningham's fight the other day, boring fight.
Yeah, it's like there's only
y'all niggas.
Go ahead.
Put on a good fight by now.
Yeah, then it's sad that Silva is old. Is an old fighter too, and he's actually the highlights of Triller in the ring. Like he's actually putting in the work.
Yeah,
because he understands his platform. So it's like, but yeah, Haye didn't understand it. I mean, Mike and Roy was always gonna. So no matter what, and people will see Roy and Mike again. They want to, so it's always gonna be there. But all this talk about Tyson Holyfield 3, that's dead. That shouldn't happen. And that shouldn't happen at all. And Mike's style is just as taxing as Holyfield's style. Yeah, like Triller needs to. I don't want to hear no Tyson Holyfield 3.
And I wouldn't even pick him right now.
The only thing that I would entertain like that is I would kind of entertain, but it probably would never happen. Is Tyson Lennox too.
I mean, for the factor, yeah, sure, you can definitely do that. I mean, Lennox, seems to be. He's kept himself in shape. Dude, still looks like he can probably knock somebody. He can knock out a C-level heavyweight, maybe even a B-level too. You know what I'm saying?
These niggas is. Yeah, but I'm just, unless you're gonna stack the card and put up some good fights, get the production on point.
They're stacking the card with bullshit.
Yeah, I'm kind of just over it. Like, don't throw a bunch of bullshit out there and then throw a little boxing match on top of it. And now that's going to represent boxing, and now you're going to say you have a boxing card. Like,
like I say, because the first one was, the first one is they had hungry fighters that were willing, that understand.
Like, the value keeps getting lower and lower on each one of these cards. Like, until it's to the point where I'm just like, I'm good. Y'all niggas is barely like Kimbo backyard status now.
Right, yeah. And like I said, I have a Triller pass, so I have the boxing I have the boxing that's on the Fat Joe Ja Rule thing for free, and as well as Lopez Cambosis.
And I'm not even looking forward to that either.
Yeah,
The
it's
price
like
of the price of the brick dropping.
yeah, it's like I pay $20.99. Like if I don't, I mean, there's probably a good 99% chance that I am not renewing this pack.
Hey yo, Pat, man, yo, these got bricks no more. These niggas got the blue caps.
Yeah, facts. Facts. Yeah.
These niggas got the motherfucking blue caps, my nigga.
Yeah.
Shit is killing people out here, man.
Yeah, between that and the Trump and the political shit, like I mean, I don't want to see political shit in my. This ain't. I don't want. I was not watch. I didn't pay to watch a UFC card. I paid to watch boxing and trailer fuckery that they can bring, and they brought
that
neither.
Really that shit didn't mix well. Like y'all gotta have way diverse entertainment because as soon as the performances, they didn't have the crowd. No one cared about that shit.
Yeah.
So everybody talking about politics and shit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Most people were like, "Oh, Trump is at this shit and Biden's doing that shit." I don't want that. That shouldn't be trending on a boxing related card. Like, I don't want to see that shit. And that's what pissed me off. I was just like, "Yeah, Triller, you have these two fights." Before I'm like, "Yeah, like I'm not, yeah, my money's not gonna be touching any of your shit anymore." Like, nah, we good. Like you have two fight cards to make this shit right. Like the Lopez Cambosa. Was that?
No, I'm sorry, my bad. It's like they did a 180, like a whole complete turn. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like, this shit ain't cool. It's not edgy. It's not even. Yeah, it's not groundbreaking. It's just like it's status quo with a political slant, and that's just like nah.
Yeah, way to kill your brand in a 1 year.
Right, exactly. Because
I see no fucking Jake Paul.
Yeah, Jake Paul. The shit was done. Yeah, fuck that. It's
30 mil winner. I mean, winner take all. Like no one does that no more. Like,
yeah, no, it was just it was just bad. So yeah, fuck that card, man. So we got one more topic, and then we briefly touched upon it. P, I don't know if you want to bring in the poll topic real quick, if you can find it, or I can find it.
Hold up. 1 minute.
Yep. Fucking Triller, fucking Holyfield again, fucking knocked out. God damn it. I paid for that shit too. Not the pay-per-view, thank God. If I paid the pay-per-view price, I'd probably be.
They didn't deserve more money for that.
I'm back. Sorry for the delay. Moving a little slower than usual considering the circumstances.
No doubt, bro.
As long as you're moving faster than JoJo's jabs.
I mean, that's kind of not hard to do. But
so even Holyfield was faster than that.
Anyway, so what I'm saying? It's funny, we talked about it earlier about Sean Porter's chances of making the Hall of Fame because that's our poll. We ain't got a Hall of Fame poll for y'all. So what I'm saying, our polls are the best, and this just shows why our polls are the best because original. We don't bite other people's shit, so don't bite our shit. You already know what it is. You can appreciate, don't fucking bite.
Yes, sir.
But anyways, this poll is: which of these fighters has the best chance of making the Hall of Fame? Mikey Garcia, Jermell Charlo, Naoya Inoue, Monster, or Josh Taylor? Well, this one had the computers putin'.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. Yeah, this poll was kind of crazy. Like
1,842 votes, almost 2,000 votes. So everybody wanted to chime in on this one.
Damn. So hold on. Sounds like the poll was training with Reynoso camp.
Yep. Man. But of that, of the almost 2,000 votes, 56% said that Monster, Naoya Inoue, is the most likely to make the Hall of Fame.
And there's definitely nothing wrong with that. I mean, Monster, pretty much if Monster wraps up the bantamweight division and unifies all that shit. I mean, he'd be the first unified champion in 50 something years. Then yeah, he's a lock for a Hall of Fame. You know, he's a pure lock. He'll probably be first ballot. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but the funny thing is too is a lot of people were kind of like Monster, like in why, it's like
three division champion. Like that. Stop sleeping on the resume. You know what I'm saying? Stop it.
I mean, he's
but he fought some little guys. But I could fight those little guys, man. They ain't nobody, man. But
yeah. And those same little guys that he fought, other guys had trouble with, and then Monster came in and bodied them.
Yeah,
facts.
Yeah,
don't tell these dudes out here that though. They ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah, they don't want to hear that though. No, I mean they'll spit some other shit, but
Hold on, so everybody voted for Monster?
I did. I definitely voted for Monster.
Who you voted for, Pat?
I voted for Monster too.
Oh damn! Okay. Well,
it was 56%.
Podcast is over. Then we all agree.
26% though. 26% runner-up came in with Josh Taylor.
Or 27? No, it's 27.5%, not 26.
Oh, sorry, 27.5%.
Yeah.
So I mean, there were some people saying that they felt that Josh Taylor, at the rate that he's going, could make the Hall of Fame.
Hell yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, let's say Josh Taylor.
He wins a belt at 147, and he get like maybe two more or a great quality win there. He's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I mean, he's already unified the division. His competition for unifying the 140 division is on point. Like, dude.
Matter of fact, if he move up and beat Mikey Garcia, he's Hall of Fame.
Yeah. It's like, Josh Taylor. I don't like Josh Taylor as a person. I do not like him. I think he's an asshole. But I can't deny that dude gets it done in the ring. Like, he absolutely gets it done in the ring. Like he's had close calls. He struggled, but dude finds a way to win.
And he's a wanker, but he can fight.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, is that better than a Dawser that could punch? I mean, I'm trying to get all these, UK slang. Yeah. Because guys who knock everybody out, they're called big Dawsers.
Pretty much,
then, but then guys who, are rough and could box and punch and, they win fights, they're called wankers who could box. Y'all know some next level shit.
Oh yeah, though, and yeah. So yeah, I mean, Josh Taylor. I mean, like I said, I mean, I'll put respect on his name because, like I said, because simply he's accomplished that. Like that's why even when I when I was hearing shit about Tank being a 140 champion, I'm like, no, there's an undisputed champion at that weight, and
that's
Tank,
Josh Taylor don't even have a shitload of fights.
Yeah,
he accomplished a lot in like less than 20 fights.
Exactly, like Tank should be, and that's why I was pissed about when LB was on there talking that, oh no, Josh Taylor isn't much of a name, but you fought someone who was like the bottom of the barrel in that division. Like,
this is why you don't listen to Mr. Potato. He just talks out his ass.
Yeah, you gotta make it make sense. This man is a top 3 pound for pound guy, and he rules his division. Why wouldn't Tank want to fight him? You know what I'm saying? So it was pissing me off. Like, you can't call him. He's not a champion that he holds every belt that means anything. So it's like, more
Tank versus Josh Taylor would be a great fight.
Hell yeah, I would love it. I love it more than any other Tank fight, except for maybe Tank's potential fights at 135. I'd welcome that fight. I'd pay for that fight.
The only fight I want to see more than that is Tank versus Thurman.
Yeah, and that should probably.
I would legit want to see that. Third place has to be Tank versus Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, for sure. Or even Tank versus Devin Haney, something like that. Something of that nature. Like, but like I said, Tank has the competition, but yeah, the at 140, you can't. So don't push it around 140.
Every fight you match up Tank with is like a great fight.
Yeah,
I feel like him and Jojo Diaz would make a fight of the year.
But yeah, now it's LB needs to stop all this bullshit and get this shit together. Like, nah.
Yeah, nigga, get us some fights.
Yeah, and then I know. And what was Mikey Garcia? What's the percentage for Mikey Garcia? P.
Come again?
What was the percentage for Mikey Garcia?
13%.
See, Mikey is a certain situation because Mikey is probably Hall of Fame now.
Mikey kind of fucked up his career a little bit.
Yeah, well, first because he waited out the Top Rank contract, and then he came back. He had his little run as lightweight at 140 champion under the PBC banner. But after he but one thing I know, Mikey wanted to be a 5-division champion because he wants that welterweight title. He wants it. But once he came up short against Spence, dude just kind of went lost. Like, I mean, he had the one fight with Vargas at 147, but it just seems like, yeah, I mean,
he's gonna need another. He might be borderline Hall of Fame right now though, because like King P said that he kind of fucked up with that Spence loss. Because this is the thing, if he stays at 147 and he beats other capable fighters at 147, that Spence loss is gonna really count for less. Like, it's gonna really count hard until because he beat Jesse Vargas, who we know is quality at 147. Maybe not top 5 quality, but he's a quality 10, 15 dude,
Absolutely.
And he's a former champion at 140s. So we know Jesse Vargas is, you're right, exactly. So we know Jesse Vargas is quality. So if Mikey Garcia could beat him, and then he never beat somebody on the level of Spence, then that Spence loss, that really hurt.
Yeah, so I mean, if Mikey just, I think, just needs a better ending to this little run he has right now.
That's why that Prograde fight was looking so good, because if he beat a Prograde, then that puts him right back in line for like Hall of Fame or bound at least or something. It solidifies the claim.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I say, he's already a 4-division champion. He already has quality names on his record. So I mean,
he just need more A-level names. He got a lot of B-level names,
right?
And the C-level names.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spence was the guy.
140 could, like, if he runs through 140, like, even if he doesn't go back to 147, a nice run at 140 could really make things a lot better for his case.
Yeah, especially I would love to see.
You might say he's the closest to damn being Hall of Fame right now. Actually,
yeah, because he's the oldest and has been doing it the longest.
Right.
Yeah.
So
he just needs to get something over that Spence loss.
Yeah. Yeah, a good. I mean, and let's say, he has. Luckily, he has the Broner and he has the Vargas wins at 147. So, like I said, I mean, he has a foundation he can build on. Like if a Crawford fight pops up and he takes Crawford 0 or something of that nature, he needs.
But Broner can't be your second. Broner can't be your best win though.
No, cannot be. Not at all.
The only person that really works for is like Maidana and Porter. Like,
yeah,
it came to time and point where it's like, a win over Broner ain't all that though.
Lost its value. It completely lost its value.
Yeah, brick went down.
Absolutely. So I mean, but yeah, I have confidence that Michael Garcia will do what he needs to do. Hopefully, give us a good late career run to his career before he decides to,
Yeah, he did fight Broner at 140.
I thought he fought him at 147.
Oh, I know. Conscious is asking.
Oh,
it probably was 147 because you know how Broner be acting like he could make one.
Where?
145 or some shit.
Wait, fought who? Broner?
Yeah.
Wasn't that fight? That fight was at 140.
No, actually, no. I just checked. Yeah, it is actually 140. Huh? I thought it was at 147 for some reason.
Nah, I knew it wasn't at 147. I knew it was at 140.
Okay.
Only
never mind.
Was 147.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Never mind.
He still needs,
my bad.
he still needs a fucking like. Look, your best wins are two niggas that had a draw with each other. Like,
right. Yeah.
like
I need a good welterweight separation, and he's good.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
Mikey get a couple better like welterweight wins, and yeah, he's there all day. Like even even at 140, like a Tank or a Pro Grade that could do it. At 147, Ugas, a Thurman. So he got the names there. He get a winner or two with them names, and then yeah, he in there. And who else we had? Jamel, right?
Yeah, Jamel Charlo was the last. Jamal is Jamal. You know,
Jamel. He got like 6%.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Truthful.
Damn, that's not a lot out of damn 2,000 people.
Yeah, I know. Which I mean, if he would have won undisputed, if he wins undisputed and then goes to 160 and wins belts there, like you can make the case, like
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
for
you
him,
could, like, you almost could make the. If you would have won undisputed, you could have made.
yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Charlo needed that win against Castano. He needed that undisputed title to make. Right now, he's not borderline. Yeah, he needs the undisputed run to make him borderline.
But he's more top 10 pound for pound than Oscar Valdez is. I'll say that.
Easy. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's just all. He just needs to win the right fights, and like I said, I mean, I put respect on Jamel Charlo, like I said, because he's actually put in the work, actually try to clean up 154 and be the man in that division. But yeah, like I said, I mean, once if he can sort out his business with Castano, then yeah, he's good because 154 has enough prime fighters where if you start beating more of these cats, you can do something. Or if you want to make that trip to 160, you can do that.
Some people they got to do is just campaign in that division, and they're good.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you don't need to do all this fucking weight hopping shit. You can look at the weight hopping poll now.
Yes, exactly.
You see how that shit, like, people respect because most often than not.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Like, most often than not, usually, and that's why I said depends on the division. Certain divisions, undisputed is worth more because you'll end up running certain fades that are dangerous that could really solidify your reign.
It's easy to cherry pick when you go one belt at one division and then move up, and like that's what Broner and Crawford have done.
Right.
Yeah.
But then Crawford got undisputed too.
Yeah,
but we put more respect on his undisputed title run than his multiple champion. Multiple.
Well, I actually put more respect on his lightweight run.
That too.
That was his best run.
I mean, that was a good run too.
But that's the thing. He fits the mold for both extremes. On one end, he's had like one of the weakest undisputed runs. Then on the other end, he's had one of the weakest multi-divisional jumping runs. Like, has there ever been a case like that in boxing where somebody fits in both?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Hopkins. His undisputed reign was kind of weak, but his division jumping was A1.
Yeah, I mean, Hopkins is because most people now I know trust me, I have given Hopkins stands the work because I don't think most of them have even really watched him in his actual prime about that. Like, yeah, I mean, dude was undisputed.
I mean, look at Holyfield. Holyfield's the opposite. He's A1 in both. Division hopping and the reign.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude fought wars in both his undisputed title reigns. Like, so
I guess it does exist. Wow, damn. How the hell y'all bring up Crawford in this episode and then we tie that shit together?
Gee, I wonder how we brought him up, bro. Yeah, I wonder how we brought him up, bro.
And it wasn't me. I think that was King P who brought him up. That nigga stood in that mirror and was like, Terrence Crawford, Terrence Crawford, Terrence Crawford.
But this is accurate. Like, I mean, it's good that most people understand that Monster is a Hall of Fame talent, you know, and he's probably on his way, you know. But like I said, just looking at some of the comments that people who have been debating, like, you know, some fans need to really, you know, really get it together about that. Like, you know, Monster, like if Monster does that and he goes on to win a super bantamweight title, yeah, he's locked. He's good.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie, man. 56% out of them, almost 1,800 votes. That's a lot of. It seems like somebody's knowledgeable out there on Twitter, or they know something.
Right. Yeah, if someone knows something, like, you know, people, like people need to understand that. And honestly, I think Monster just needs to keep bodying more people to people so they actually understand it.
But there was no real wrong answer though. Like every person on the list, I feel like is a win or two away from solidifying it, like making it a definite.
Right, absolutely.
If Mel was the damn rematch with Castano, knocks him out, wins undisputed, and then gets a fight at 160, knocks out Andre or beats Golovkin, that might be enough to be in, you know, the Hall of Fame to me.
Yeah. You know, and that's the thing.
Just like same thing with Mikey Garcia. And Mikey Garcia already has a loss. He has a real loss. Not like Mel, who, you know, I still look at Mel as undefeated.
Well, I mean, I honestly don't. I mean, because I do think he lost to Castano.
Well, I thought he lost to Castano. So, but it is what it is.
Right.
No. Okay. That's what you mean. Okay, I was talking about like an official loss. Like.
Oh yeah. I mean.
Yeah, because I wasn't counting. I only counting the Harrison as official loss. Yeah, I thought Castano beat him too, but it was one of those beat'ems where like they gave it a draw. I could respect the draw. I'm not gonna really. I mean, nigga, remember I picked Castano. Shit.
Yeah, you did. So
I try not to hold that fight against him too much, but you know,
I mean that fight it will eventually need to be run back. You know,
it has to. It needs to. And but you know, we gotta hold that fight toward Mel because that's one of his big fights.
Yeah.
So you know, we put Spence as Mikey gut moment. So. And then we got on him. So yeah, I feel you. So
yeah, but the bottom line is
a good list.
Yeah, but bottom line is, I mean, as you saw, like all four fighters have a way to get to the Hall of Fame. Like none of them it's not like they have, you know, they're never going to. Like every one of them have a very clear thing in what they need to do. Probably maybe in their next 5 fights, I would say Garcia is probably the closest because Garcia, you know, is already a 4-division champion. Garcia just needs a good quality. He needs a welterweight title or taking a significant welterweight with 0, and he's gold. And he's in.
Yeah, he can't, but he's wasting his time taking these bullshit fights he planned on taking.
Yeah, that's where, I mean, you might go into maybe should be a Hall of Fame, or he goes in at a slow year instead of being absolute.
Because it's your last fight was Jesse Vargas. Like, why are you fighting this guy? Like,
yeah, and you know, and then we have Charlo. Charlo needs an undisputed title reign, you know, and once you get an undisputed title reign, you know that, and then you know you can beat up quality 154 fighters, or you go up to 160. Bam, you good. If Monster unifies the bantamweight title, he's in. You know, Taylor.
All he has to do is unify, and he's in. But and then if he wins a title at Super Bantam, that just makes him a lock first time in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then Taylor needs Taylor if he beats a solid name or a big name at one welterweight and welterweight title, he's building a foundation for it easy. You know, if he unifies the 147 somehow, then he's probably going to be in. You know, like
if he even win a belt, get a couple defensive. But if he beats a top 3, top 5 name, a couple of those, easily. Especially if they got a belt, yeah.
So yeah,
the answer, like the poll really, it was one of those polls where there's really no wrong answer.
None at all, and it was great. Like I said, no, I dug the conversation. We were glad that we got all the votes. People were into the people were tweeting it. People were engaged on it. So yeah, it was cool. It was good. It was good to read the opinions of everyone. And people are still replying back on it right now to this point. So yeah, it was nice. It was a good poll. Shout out to that poll, man. I definitely like reading it. And hopefully, we definitely do get to 2,000 or a little bit over 2,000 by the end of its poll run. Yeah, I think that is it. That we touched upon. So I think we can wrap things up. P, any final thoughts?
Yeah, fuck Valdez.
Okay.
That's run it back. Get off the tee. Get Reynoso, to fucking get Reynoso into questioning, and yeah, that whole camp needs to be questioned. So that's that. Run it back with Cancio, however you say his name.
Yes, sir.
But what I'm saying, I'm tired of giving this bum any more burn. So, anyways, you know what it is. Yeah, you know what it is. Ring Gang Radio all day. This is a terrible weekend of boxing. Hoping for better weeks to come. I'm honestly really looking forward to Joshua Usyk. I don't know why. I'm like more interested in it than I thought I would be.
Because you didn't live through all this mid, so anything that looks like quality mid or like a little high quality, you're like grabbing at it now.
Yeah, I guess I got used to so much Reggie that getting mid is like, oh, you know what? Okay, or getting anything more than mid. Okay. Fuck it, yeah. I'll take it.
And you know what? And we kind of disrespected mid, actually. Like, you're right. Yeah. All this shit has been Reggie, to be honest. Yeah, like mid deserves better. Like, all this shit been Reggie right now. So,
so I'm hoping for that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Teofimo and Kambosos. Yes, I think Triller needs to really take a look at what they're doing and the moves they're making, because if we get more fights like this, it's not going to last the end of the year at this rate. So,
and they have, and I just, because like I said, I checked their schedule. Like, they have cards they plan on going well into 2022. So.
I mean, low key. In my opinion, I feel like them losing Jake Paul to Showtime was actually a big hit. So what brought them to the dance, now they don't have anymore. So now they have lesser room for leeway, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. No,
but they could turn that into an advantage, like how De La Hoya, like Golden Boy, been putting out better cards since Canelo left.
Absolutely,
this is true. But
so they could flip that. They just need to stop making every little bullshit fight its own card and start really putting all the entertaining fights together.
But right. I mean, at least Golden Boy, I still have faith in Golden Boy, because Golden Boy's been doing this for a while. They have the minds for boxing. Triller's a new thing that's just trying to, just like Rock Nation. Remember Rock Nation's fit in boxing?
Yeah.
So this could end up like that, 2.0, a little bit better, but like might end up all the same.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely a good point.
Other than that, you know what it is, Ring Gang Radio all day. You know where to find us on ringgangradio.com, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You know the vibe. So it is what it is.
Absolutely, man. That's great. And my final thoughts are, that shit with Evander Holyfield, that shit hurt me, man. Because like I said, Evander Holyfield is one of my favorite fighters of all time, man. I grew up watching that dude, man. Dude is the epitome of warrior and greatness.
I don't think you can find anybody that has a bad thing to say about Holyfield as a fighter. Like everybody,
anybody who wasn't headbutt by him.
Yeah,
facts. And real talk, anyone who does, you better have a legit good reason why Holyfield wasn't that. Saying that Holyfield wasn't that dude, because Holyfield.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to say because Evan Fields, but that's the only mark against him in my eyes.
Yeah. Absolutely, but but if you know and love Evander Holyfield, and especially if you're his family or whatever, you tell him that the only reason he needs to be in the ring is if he's a cornerman for his son fighting, or if he wants to be a referee or some shit, or he wants to be work a pro wrestling event. But yeah, none of this fighting. Like Evander Holyfield does not need to fight anyone. He doesn't need to spar. None of that shit anymore. He doesn't
Yeah, I
need
don't
to.
even want to see him do mitts. Like I'm good.
Yeah,
Like
like he doesn't need to. Like
he
he
just
can
looks
just
too old and labored. Like
yeah. Yeah,
he did enough for us
yeah,
in his country and the
he
sport.
gave enough of his body for us. Like he will be talked about. He's an all time great. We don't need to see him fight anymore. You know, he can be useful in other ways. He has a son that boxes. You know, he can do pro wrestling. You know, and be a ref or something like that. He just doesn't need.
He has a son that's in football. He has sons that do other things. You know.
Yeah, I mean, his son is on the Eagles of all. I think he's on the practice squad now. I think. You know, but yeah, like sons, his sons can be great. You know, so yeah, no more fighting Evander Holyfield. You don't need to fight anymore. You've proven that you're great. You know, but
No
other
more
than
drama.
that, you know, but other than that, you know, obviously shout out to this is the first NFL Sunday. I know LB's doesn't care. You know, he's gonna be doing some more ring gang shit. You know, come up with more immaculate shit to share to the masses. While me, P, Pilot, probably Rome too. We'll be enjoying. You know, so shout out, big ups to NFL Sundays being back till February, and of course, shout out Ring Gang. You know, Ring Gang is the squad. We do this. You know what I'm saying? No one does it like us, man. Like I said, so yeah, that's why you need to just subscribe to everything we do, especially our YouTube. Sub there and tell your friends to tell them to sub, and then we can all be friends. You know what I'm saying? Because we do the shit for y'all. And if y'all feeling a little generous, we got Patreon, we got PayPal. Our links are on the website or a lot of our social media, website, YouTube, whatever. Maybe you're feeling a little generous to contribute, so we can bring you more of that hot content that you want and need in your lives. So yeah, so for myself, Pat Scorpion, and New representative.
Damn, nigga, I don't get a.
I thought you did. My bad, bro.
Damn.
For some reason, I thought you did. My bad, yo. LB, bro, your fellow thoughts. My bad, bro.
I'll just echo your thoughts, man. Thank you, Top Rank, for giving us some decent boxing to talk about. I'll just leave it at that because the decent wasn't so decent to talk about. You got cheaters and niggas getting brain damage to their kids and dudes fighting their fathers to get brain damage. And it was a lot of craziness went on last Friday, but whatever. And then you had the MAGA convention fight card up in Hard Rock. Yeah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, honestly, bro, it's in your neighborhood. You just need to stone. You get people to stone like anyone that walks around there, because for all that MAGA shit, because that shit was not cool. Yeah, you need to grill everyone. And talk to them real authoritative and.
Nah, because that's the thing. Like Hard Rock is so big. Like you could go there and you'll not even run into anybody that was at the fight.
That's probably true.
Like, it's a big ass casino, restaurants, clubs, all that shit. Even the parking lot, like all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like shit. When I went to the damn what's that? Bay Bartholomew fight, and we was in the damn hotel, not the hotel, the elevator with somebody. His dude was asking me and my wife, "What y'all about to see the Floyd fight? His people here?" Like, yeah. He's like, yeah. I got tickets for it, but I think it was tickets from the hotel. Like they was giving them away or some shit. Like,
yeah, no,
fucking high roller ass niggas. but yeah, man. So it's just boxing is in dire need of a real mega fight, a real big event that we all could look forward to. I guess Joshua Usyk is next. Is next. Yeah, I mean Figgy Fulton was going to be mine, but that's out of the picture. So
yeah, for now.
Joshua,
hopefully they said next month it might happen, but we'll see how that goes.
These niggas jamming everything in October. Like I don't know, man. Like motherfuckers predict like how to postpone shit that's thrown off from COVID. That shit just weird.
Yeah, it is.
Niggas can legit say, I caught COVID, but I can fight you next month. Like, the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
But, anyways, yeah, so I'm looking forward to just some real good boxing. One fight, because y'all niggas be giving these trash cards. So if we get one good fight out of a trash card, I'll be happy. So I hope Joshua Usyk is like fight of the year level.
Absolutely. And anything else that happens on the undercard that's like fade worthy, it's just icing on the cake, man.
Yeah, I need a Joshua KO for that, man. Like,
Yeah.
I put this motherfucker away, bro. Like, niggas want to be heavyweights. They not Holyfield.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's all I got to say. Y'all just keep following us. Uppercut season out, artwork out, Sample Kings out, all that shit is out, man. Episode 4 is on the way. Yara. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. So for myself, Pat Scorpio, the New England representative, for LB Shuttleworth, the God, the GOAT artist, for King People Digapy, and for Pilot holding us down with the comments, whatever. This has been elevating. This has been another wonderful episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. So until next time, peace.